Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you Game 3 in a best of 3 series between I Am MVP versus Dignita Select here on Shattered Temple. This is BattleNet Invitational from BlizzCon 2011. I do not believe that these replays or these games were actually casted. Excuse me, I do not believe that these games were actually casted on the stream, so hopefully you guys do enjoy them. We have Select spawning as the red Terran player over here at the 3 o'clock position. Meanwhile, we have I Am MVP spawning here as the blue Terran player. So this is Terran versus Terran once more. And we'll see how these players try to open up. So far, all the strategies that I've seen out of Select have been pretty standard builds. And same thing from I Am MVP. Nothing too out of the ordinary, nothing too crazy. Very solid builds. Select able to capitalize on a reverse all-in, so to speak, bringing in his SCVs in order to save some of his units, and then being able to do a very nice counterattack and take a win from I Am MVP. And we'll see how I Am MVP responds, as he looks like he will be opening up with a very standard build once again. You can see the SCVs are being trained. Take a look at the mirror or the productions. It does pretty much look exactly the same so far. Refineries should be coming in. Yep, right now. Both sides pretty much doing the same thing. Now we'll see where they do differ, as I do not expect these players to be doing the same exact strategies, say in a Protoss versus Protoss or a Zerg versus Zerg, as Terran has a number of different options that they can go early on. You can try to go for Reaper expansion, you can try to go for Marine tank build, siege tanks with Marine without stim in order to do a slow push. All of those strategies generally work well. Also, Banshee Cloak works well, as you now see both players training up Marines and upgrading to an orbital command. Now, one quick thing to note, this is the BattleNet version of the map from patch 1 or from season 3. So it was actually possible to do ally or close spawns on this map, but it looks like this SCV will simply come up the ramp in just a moment and then be able to meet and greet one of those Marines. And now this SCV is pretty much stuck, has nowhere to go, goes up onto the high ground in order to see a completed wall off, and I Am MVP getting the first blood there. Meanwhile, Select is opening up. He is getting a tech lab with tech lab on his barracks. He does have a second barracks as well being constructed. Meanwhile, we have a factory being built by I Am MVP. I Am MVP also getting up a second refinery, so we may see cloaked Banshees coming out as well. But we also see that Select is going for a Reaper, and with Reapers, he may be able to scout it out and be able to do something about it. This one poor SCV may get taken down. No, just enough hit points, 15 hit points to barely escape. 2 to 3 more shots, and it would have been destroyed. Now, Marines are being added over here. It looks like we are going for a tech lab and a starport swap in just a moment. A new Reaper being added, and Select using a strategy that I believed I Am MVP used in Game 1, except Select does have 2 barracks with tech labs, so he is going to be able to get triple Reapers rather quickly. And now this one SCV, gets taken down by a fellow brethren there. SCV for the kill. Not something you see very often, as 4 Marines are now making their way out across the map. Are they going to be able to spot it? Yes, they are going to spot it. That SCV needs to run. The Marines need to run. More Marines need to be trained. This is not going to be good news at all, as there's currently 3 Reapers in this group. And the Reapers really need to be careful and figure out how to win out on this fight. SCV and now the Reapers are going to be doing a little bit of a chase. The Reapers have slightly faster movement speed, and if they're able to chase down these Marines, that may be enough. The Marines going to have a little bit of a problem there. Now trying to pick off those Marines, and the Marines are all down. So that was a huge engagement there, but the Reapers are a very expensive combination of units. They need to take down this tech lab, and quickly. And now in comes Hellions as well. The Hellion going to be able to perhaps get some damage onto those units, and now be able to get some more damage back onto the Hellions as well. SCVs are now getting destroyed. One low ground Reaper as the units are continuing to battle out. This is not looking good, trying to take down the tech lab. The tech lab may get destroyed. No, it is not, and a Banshee is now in the air. MVP now with the Banshee in the air, should be able to start cleaning up some of these SCVs. We see a barracks and an engineering bay being added. More Marines are trying to be trained, but it's only going to be 6 Marines by the time that this Banshee does arrive to the party. Engineering bay does take 35 seconds to build, 25 seconds for that missile turret, so there's going to be a small window of opportunity as the Banshee now simply flies in, able to see Marines now trying to make its way over, and now the Banshee going to perhaps get off a little bit of damage. The Banshee utilizing that 6 range and faster movement speed to kite those Marines. The Marines now continuing to run around. It looks like we do have the second orbital command. A missile turret trying to be added. This is not looking good. Scanner sweep now getting some damage. MVP down to 32 hit points as the second Banshee is in the air. And now this is going to be a problem. We need a second missile turret. Select needs another missile turret. Otherwise his mineral line is just going to be completely gutted as well. You can now see a factory being built down over here. Only a lot of barracks. More Marines trying to be trained up as well. As MVP does announce that he has arrived by taking and dealing a little bit of damage here. Perhaps going to shut down one of these supply depots. Supply depot is down to 202 hit points. There it goes. It does cloak. The Marines are now trying to make their way over. Supply depot is now on fire in the bad way. And I believe this one supply depot down to 84 hit points. It looks like it will get destroyed in just a second. Oh no, now going after SCVs. The scanner sweep now coming in. MVP getting a little sloppy there, or a little overzealous, as MVP now backs off with the Banshee. All of this off of one base, and now a fresh Banshee coming in as this Banshee does decloak. MVP maintaining his energy just a little bit better. Oh, that was not a repaired Banshee. That was a fresh Banshee. So MVP following this up much better than his opponent in game 1. Able to get a lot more kills. There is a missile turret just so far away, as the Banshee now trying to maximize damage even further. Marines coming back in from the center. MVP is buying himself a lot of time. He's been able to macro up a lot more units. Siege tanks do have siege tech. The Banshee now attempting to run away. Will it be able to fly over this cliff in time? Yes, out of the range of that scanner sweep. As the Marines are now coming in. Oh, 2 Banshees. Oh, and MVP losing all of those 2 Banshees and that 1 Hellion from a little bit of reckless play. The Marines are now stimming once more. Will it be able to shoot down? Yes, another Banshee gets shot down. So all of a sudden, MVP has lost a lot more, but the siege tanks are now going to start pushing forward. This is not good news. Map control, the siege tanks are buying a lot of map control, and with no anti-air, or with no real way of dealing damage to these siege tanks, this fortification is going to be very difficult. Select once again trying to do another push. There are a couple bunkers in position, a very deep siege line, and the siege tanks are still alive, and that is not good news at all. A lot of Marines being destroyed, and now we are going into perhaps medevacs, but it may be too little too late, as MVP had the perfect follow-up, and that may be the game, as the siege tanks are covering that ramp a little too well. And now all the Marines really need to do is start walking up the ramp and start taking map control from the inside of the base as well. You can see the barracks going to get destroyed, the factory, and I believe there is the GG. Select losing game 3 in this best of 3 series. Even after cleaning up 3 Give Me Banshees, was not ready for the siege tanks and the Marines. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this 3-game set.